Okay, welcome back everyone. So today we have a problem I promise will be quick. So I want to find all functions from positive reals to non-negative reals satisfying this functional equation. And I'm very sad that we don't get to plug in 0, but okay. So what do I think the end is? The heck? So I actually don't see what it should be. Like, it looks like x cubed plus y cubed. Do I need, like... If f was a polynomial of degree n, then I want, like, 3n to be equal to n plus 1. So maybe it's not a polynomial. Do I want square root? N was an integer. Is square root the correct answer? I think square root should do it. Alright. And also, let's see, it's not homogeneous up to constants, meaning that if I like double all the values. So f is degree 3 here, degree 1, degree 2. So the constants actually matter. And so probably plus 1 is the only one that'll work. Okay, so I think the answer is square root x. Okay, that's fine. It's not negatives, so that's fine. Also, of course, the 0 function will work. Is there another constant function that works? No, because the right-hand side varies. So, root x and 0. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I left all 0 earlier. Okay, so... Right, what am I supposed to do with this? So... It's almost... This xy is sort of most of my problems. Because if it's not for this term, then I can plug in a constant for y and I would get a cubic in f of x that I could have solved explicitly. So I want to see, first of all, why is there a multiplication here? What can I do anything about it? No, I can plug in 0. I plug in 1. Oh, just plug in y equals 1. Ah, okay, yeah, nah, that's fine, that's fine. Alright, so let's plug in y equals 1. And let's, you'll get f of x plus f of 1, which is a constant. Let's let k equals f of 1 for brevity. So f of x plus k all cubed is equal to x of x plus k plus 3 f of x times f of x plus 1. Or sorry, plus k. No, I don't care about this 0. What am I supposed to do about the 0 solution? Just run it. Oh crap, I have a compiler error. I dropped the other side. I mean, we'll get the 0 solution out of this anyways, right? Like, this is a cubic. I should see what it does. So... maybe I should solve for f of 1 first? Oh yeah, actually that's a good idea. Let's solve for f of 1. That is a smart move. That will get rid of the k. So plug in x equals y equals 1 to get well, it's the same equation, except now it's like 2k cubed equals 2k plus 3k times 2k, which is 6k. So 8k cubed equals 8k, so k is either 0 or 1. Because it's not negative. Okay, that's fine now. So, okay, I guess there's two cases, and probably one of them will give us the 0 solution, the other will give us the 1 solution. Let's hope there's no random solution. So if k equals 0, what I get is f of x cubed equals x of x plus 3 f of x squared. So that implies f of x is in 0 and something else. Let's not write y is f of x cubed, alright? No, it's fine, I don't need it. 1 freak. 3 plus or minus the square root of 9 plus 4x all over 2. Did I do that right? Oh no. I thought we were getting you. Okay, let's see what k equals 1 gives. Maybe k equals 1 will be better because at least we know one of them is just, we know that we expect. Okay, so f of x. Oh jeez, the 1 cancels. Is there a pointwise thing here? Wait. Is there going to be like a solution which is like 0 sometimes and x other times? Yeah, the negative solution is impossible. Oh, great. Yeah, that's true. I was about to say like for sufficiently large x, it's always plus, but actually any non-negative x will work. All right. Okay, so this gives what's the cube? F of x cubed minus 3f of x squared plus 3f plus 3f of x. Oh, 3f of x. Okay, that one cancels. So 3 plus 3f of x. 3f of x also cancels. Okay, so the second one is actually a lot nicer. 3, yeah. So most stuff blows up, and this gives you with f of x is either 0 or x, or squared x. Oh no. So can someone confirm for that this is actually this one is something's wrong with this actually, because when we plugged in 1, this shouldn't give us. When I plug in x equals 1, this gives me like 3 plus root 13 over 2, which is preposterous. So did I do something wrong here? I don't think I did. X squared. Okay, well so let's suppose that yeah, f1 equals 0, which is in this. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, someone check whether this is actually a solution. Because I would be a little surprised, but I wouldn't be that surprised. Alright, what's the quickest way to deal with a pointwise situation? I wonder if I can do a thing like that USUMO problem where like here, I'm gonna in the meantime the following is true. So observation, if let's say f of a is non-zero and f of b is non-zero, then actually no, never mind. I thought I had something. Oh, dang it. Plug in x equals 1, y equals 2, and the numbers were way off. So maybe not for all x and y. Like, I feel like you shouldn't get more information by plugging in 1 though, right? Like 1, 2? Did we make a mistake? I don't see how you can plug in 1, 2 and get new information because we used up the 1 condition here completely. I let f of x equal... Can't you just say that f of 1 is not in the set of possible f1s? Well, the problem is this is a pointwise situation. Like, it tells me that... I know that f of 1 equals 0. I mean, actually assuming that. But this doesn't tell you anything about any other individual value of x. You tested values. I know, but... No, that doesn't make sense. The problem is that if, like... Oh, I see, because you actually... No. When you plug in 1, 2, you should get the same equation as this. Like, it shouldn't be possible that you assume it's this form and then you plug in 1, 2 and you get, like, a contradiction. Because we got this by plugging in 1, 2. But you can't plug 1, 2 into the equation twice and get different results or something. So, unless... I don't know. We assumed f of 1 equals 0. Yeah, but like, it's still 1, 2, right? Now I'm really confused. Oh, I see. Yeah, so like, yeah, f is not identically this function because f1 is 0. Okay, I understand what happened now. Okay, yeah. No, you can't assume f is equal to this one. Yeah, test 2, 3. It definitely won't work, I think. I think there's no way it works. You would need a function that is like equal to this, except x equals 1 or something silly like that. And that seems like absurd. Actually, maybe that's not too absurd. Is the value of f of 1 ever reused? I feel like maybe at this point we should plug in x, 1 over x and see what happens. Maybe it'll just like solve the problem. Because we know f of 1. So if I plug in x and 1, x, probably for both sides, right? So this promises that f of x plus f of 1 over x is equal to x f of x plus 1 over f of 1 over x plus 3f of 1, which is 1, 3fx plus f1 over x. And f of x and f of 1 over x is... Well, actually, is 0 consistent with this information? If the function is 0, but it's not, because we... Ugh, this sucks. Let's try the other one. This one might be easier, because we actually expect it to give you 0. Now plug in x over 1 over x. Well, actually, it's the same equation. So, you know, f of x equals f of 1 over x equals 0 is a possibility. I want to move things around a bit. Let's move this to the left. So this is the case k equals 0. So we get this thing, and I think for all but finitely many x, it won't be possible that like... It shouldn't be possible that like this thing holds like for many values of x. On the other hand, oh, I really don't want to plug that in. Well, if either one is 0, what happens? It implies f of x equals x, which it's not. Does that thing have any fixed points? This thing is... If either one is 0, then for some y, then for t in x comma 1 over x, I don't know. We get 3 plus 9 plus square root 9 plus 4t over 2 equals t. And this gives Alright, left hand side is cubed. Oh crap. Okay, so f of square root t. Impossible. This is not possible, right? This thing is bigger than square root t always. Thanks for the shout out. You didn't prove k equals 0, it doesn't work. See, that's true. Maybe you should plug in x equals y. You think x equals y will work better? That's true, actually. For this side, x equals y is probably a better idea. Okay. So plug in x equals y. So... I mean, the thing that's annoying is it's just, what if everything is 0? Is the question. But yeah, x equals y is probably cleaner. So what do I get? It's 8f of x cubed equals 2x f of x plus 6f of x squared. What am I trying to show? It's like if f of x is 0, then f of x squared. No. Hey, I want to ask a question. Is this a solution? This should not be a solution, right? But in order for this to not be a solution, I need this equation. Like, I'm worried about this function. Like, I need f of 1 to show up here, because if you plug in x equals 1 or y equals 1, we get an equation that we already used up. So, I think to finish, I do need this equation somehow. Also, I forgot the cube again. Freaking... Should one of those be a 0? Oh, sorry. I meant to write x equals 1. I don't know what I'm thinking. In order to show that this is not a solution, I need this equation. Wait, actually it works here as well. Hey. Is this a solution? Am I being joked at? Is this a solution? I think this is a solution. If x equals x and y are reciprocals, then... Well, they're both 0 anyways. So okay. Oh, that's not what I wanted to see. So I'm not crazy, right? This is actually a solution to the original. By casework on which things are 1. If either x or y is 1, it's fine. If x, y equals 1, it's also fine because the other two won't be 1, both 1. So this is also a solution. And now that makes me worry there's more things like this. Alright. Yeah. Alright, so I am not just missing something. Okay, what am I going to do about this? What are other solution sets of things like this? Like, if I have a number that's square root... So if I have a single value that is non-zero and is not 1, so like, for this case, let's say suppose r does not equal 1, but f of r is square root r. Let me just call it y. Let's just call it y. Then we can plug that in and pray that this actually will tell us like square root y cubed is x of x plus y to the 3 halves, and then fxy plus 3 f of x plus root y, right? Yeah, I agree f of x not 0 implies f x squared not equal to 0. I will keep that in my head, but I'm not writing it down for now because I want to see what this does. So again, this is a cube. This is almost a cubic. So we have two cases. If f of xy is equal to 0, this promises f of x plus square root y cubed equals x of x plus y to the 3 halves. And both f of x equals, can f of x be 0? F of x can still be 0. Yeah, we know it's 0 or root x at every point. Crap. F of x can still be 0? Did I mean f of 1 equals 0? Where? Yes. I probably wrote that somewhere. Okay. Like, what is the... How do I get something to break? Because I feel like as long as... Okay. Let's let S be any multiplicative subgroup of R plus under multiplication. So... Does that work? Or it just like let S be closed under multiplication. Okay, let's see. So if x and y are both in S, it's fine. If x is in S, then y is not in S. And if they're both in or they're both out, it's okay. Yeah. Now suppose that you have like in and out. Like x is in, y is out, then xy is also out. Okay, so this works. I'm not crazy, right? So let S be anything, like for example, let S be the rational numbers. The point being like the product of two rationals is still rational. So, okay, this is actually the easy case because I don't need to do any calculation. Did I miss something? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean 1. What am I writing? Square root x. Square root x is meant. I think that makes it work. Yeah. The multiplicatively closed subgroup of R0. Then that thing. I want to rearrange the blocks a little so I can save space. Okay. On the other hand, the set of points for which it's square root x is closed under multiplication. Because if f of x equals root x and f of y equals root I, by plugging it in directly, okay, so I'm going to delete this thing where I claim the answer. Yeah, I agree. I think this is just correct, because if x is root x, y is root y, then I plug this in and I will get root xy. Whoop-de-doo. So the remaining case is k equals 0. And, probably that doesn't have any special solutions, because I think like the square root thing is just whatever. So if either one is 0, then this thing happens, and now I just need to right, this doesn't work, right? Which is impossible. I mean, you just say let S be the set of yes, let any set closed under multiplication. Otherwise, we have, so if they're both square root, then I want to show I can't have 3 plus square root 9 plus 4x over 2 plus 3 plus square root 9 plus 4 over x over 2 cubed equals... Is there a better way to do this? Should I plug in x comma x first? Let's plug in x comma x first. I feel like this is overly terrible. I don't know. Like, okay, f of 1 is 0. Can I not force... Should I just plug it in? It is a finite case check. Like, this will get it 0 at all but finitely many values. But I feel like it's so disgusting that I don't want to do it. Look at limiting behavior. So, like, suppose I have an x. Honestly, this could work, right? So apparently, if f of x is non-zero, then f of x squared is not zero as well. So suppose f of like x is equal to, so suppose there's a t such that this is true. Then it's true for f of t to the 2 to the n is equal to like 3 plus square root 9 plus 4t to the 2 to the n. I dropped a brace. Oh no. No, actually, let's not delete this yet. Oh, actually, here. I don't know. So if I plug this in, will this behave correctly? Probably not. At least for a t greater than 1. I don't think this will behave correctly. We haven't done k equals 0 yet. It feels like it should be easier. So let's plug in like x equals... Like, let's suppose x and y are both pretty big, right? Then the left-hand side is... what's the asymptotic row rate? It's like O of x to the 3 halves. Actually, the asymptotic... I need the actual constant. It's not good enough to have just the asymptotic. So, this thing is very close to... Oh fuck, it's actually square root t. Ah, no, asymptotics won't work. They have the same growth rate because square root x is the solution. Can you just plug in t and t squared? Will it work? I mean, it'll work, but it's not clean, right? Like... Alright, well, let's do it and see what happens. I feel like this isn't obviously going to be any cleaner than the other one. Like, I don't see any reason. I guess there's like fewer cases, maybe. Okay, so t times 3 plus square root plus 3 times f of t squared. So we know this has to be 9 plus 4t squared, because if it's 0, then we blow up. Alright, so I want to show this as no solutions in T. Like, it is a one variable equation. Oh, sorry, I meant X everywhere. All the X's should be T's. It's like a one variable equation. So, like, in principle, like, I could expand, but I really don't want to. Wait, is there a common factor? Oh, okay. The reason that this is better than the other one is because there's a common factor. In the other one, there's no common factor. But here there is. Dividing out. Oh, that's why. I see. Okay, so this is actually better than the other one because I can divide out the ugly thing. How do you not get distracted by the flashing keyboard? I don't look at the keyboard when I type. I don't know if you've noticed. I do not look at the keys. Okay, so this is true for like at most one value of t. In fact, that value of t is like... Do I know what that value is? Okay, first, actually, let me make sure I didn't misplug anything in, because it would be exactly like me to make a mistake. And lo and behold, alright, there's already a mistake. This should be a factor of 2, right? I dropped a factor of 2. So, factor of 2, whoop-de-doo. And then this is factor of 2, so that's 8. And I forgot the cube again. I keep forgetting the cube. Is that right now? What is a thing I can plug in to make sure it's correct? There isn't one, that's the issue. Okay. Alright, so I just have to double check my work. 8, 2, divide 1 out. Oh, squared. Is that right now? Yeah, okay, but the point is this has finitely many solutions. While a single non-zero value other than 1 will generate infinitely many. How do you know this could be an identity? It's not an identity because the asymptotic growth rates don't even match, I think. Because the left-hand side is... The left-hand side grows on the order of 8t. The right-hand side grows on the order of 4t. Also, you can also plug in any value of t and verify it's not an identity in t. Am I really sure the growth rates don't match? Or did I just make another mistake? I'm paranoid. Because there's no actual value of t that this worked like... There's no natural value of t it actually works for. I'm super paranoid. I like make a calculation error and then I can't tell. But I think this is okay now. Oh, no, I forgot the factor of 3. Jesus, I'm doing everything wrong. Holy crap. We're going to bed after this. 3, there's a 3 there. 3 times that thing times that. Okay, so now the asymptotic growth rates actually match, which is not great news. On the other hand, in order to check that it's not that this is not an identity in t, all you have to do is plug in t equals 2, or almost any other value, literally any value. And because there's no unexpected relations between square roots, like the left hand side is in q adjoint root 17, the right hand side's in q adjoint root 41, and these are disjoint places. So these two things don't match, and they can't match for infinitely many values of t. I'm kind of waving my hands pretty hard here, but yeah, so it's not an identity in t, and so it also can't agree for infinitely many values of t, because yeah, when you square a lot of times, you can eliminate the radicals. So it will be some polynomial identity, which is true for, which is false for infinitely many values. Ergo, it is false for all but finitely many values because it's a polynomial. So this forces t equals 1. This is the desired contradiction. You don't have to make sure t equals 1 fails because we assumed k equals 0. Alright, so that should work. What's the difference between IMO and Putnam? I try to... It would be more accurate to ask what is the same between them, which is about the only thing they have in common is they are both proof-based math competitions, and other than that, they're pretty different. Oh, also, they're proof-based math competitions where you don't have access to resources and solutions are tend to be on the short side. Although that's more true for Putnam. To give an actually useful answer, mechanically the Putnam is a 6-problem 3-hour exam each day, while the IMO is a 4.5-hour and 3-problem exam. So there's difference, like the Putnam is much faster. In terms of exam content, IMO has Euclidean geometry, Putnam has group theory and basic calculus. Well, actually some real analysis, really. So that's a difference in like surface level content. However, I think from having done both competitions, there's a bit of difference in like flavor as well. Things that come to mind are Putnam problems tend to be shorter in the solutions. Like it's less likely to have a Putnam problem where solutions have a lot of cases, for example. They tend to be on average a little less deep than the IMO just because of the time controls. The Putnam has a few problems that are very easy. Well, easy by like IMO standards. Like Putnam A1 will probably be easier than IMO 1 in most years. The Putnam, I would say, has less variance in difficulty, where at the IMO, like, problem in quote-unquote on average, and I say this with square quotes because the people who know the IMO know this is false all the time, but on average, problem 2 is a lot harder than problem 1, and problem 3 is a lot harder than problem 2. This is not true for the Putnam, where, like, there's, the difficulties are a lot more all over the place. So sometimes it's very compressed, sometimes like 6 is randomly way harder, but 1 through 5 are all about the same. So I would say that if you are someone who has done IMO competition math for Putnam, one of the skills you want to get is to be able to tell in the first 10 minutes of working on a problem whether you think you're going to solve it or not. Because time allocation matters a lot more. It's not uncommon that sometimes like problem B5 is just easy and you want to be able to figure out really quickly so you can nail that B5, whereas if B6 is hard, you don't spend a lot of time on it. Those are just some examples of differences between IMO and Putnam. If you have more specific questions, I'm happy to entertain those. But those are just a few things that came to mind. Anyways, so as promised, we did get the problem fairly quickly, although... What age can you compete for IMO? You are high school. But the hard part of IMO is like usually making the country's team, because only 6 people get to go from each country. Yeah, time crunch is very... Oh, the other thing about the Putnam is I think the great... Shoot. I have to remember when I'm saying stuff, everything I say is recorded and maybe used against me. So I will stick my neck out and say this anyways. Putnam grading seems noisier than IMO grading. As in, most of the time at the, like, people I know who have done both contests, like, when they walk out of USMO or IMO, they sort of know, like, basically what score they're going to get. The main variable is, like, maybe you don't know exactly, like, what the rubrics look like. So, you know, you don't know exactly what partial you might get. But they basically know their score up to, like, plus or minus 2 points. At Putnam, this has not really been true. For reasons I won't get into. But I don't know. Like, I think I based, like, you know, just as a personal anecdote, for example, like every IMO and or USMO or USAJMO I went to, like, the score I got was like within like plus minus 1 of what I thought I deserved. But at the Putnam, I don't think there's a single year where it was within like plus minus a problem of what I thought I got. It is also true, broadly speaking, that Putnam grading is harsher than Olympiad grading. Mostly minus. I don't think I ever got more points than I thought I was going to get, but I think I'm not, my memory of this isn't perfect, but I think like most years I lost a problem, and in some years I lost like 2 problems. Yeah, and this from my experience, from talking to people, this is just sort of what happens. Like at the Putnam, if you are someone who's done well at the IMO, so you go to the Putnam and you're sort of expecting to get like at least half the problems, you sort of just like, people just kind of lose a problem, like, and never really know why. This is not true if most people at the Putnam only solve a couple problems, so it doesn't really apply. But like once you're at a point where you're solving like say more than half the problems, like people just kind of it's around then when people just kind of lose a problem or 2 and don't really know what happened. So when I was a student, Putnam grading, you only got the total score back and that was it. I think in recent years this has changed and people get their distributions now. So people actually know which problems they lost points on. But when I was a student, it was not true. So I never figured out like why I lost points. The answers are any function. Actually. Closed under, really? Oh, maybe I'm misremembering them. My memory of the Putnam is not very perfect because I kind of did it for fun and didn't specifically train for it the same way I trained like crazy for the IMO. But yeah, this took longer than 30 minutes. Oops. Well, to be fair, a lot of it was me fluffing around. Like I probably could have solved it faster if I like was willing to expand. But okay, let's say. Okay. So if k equals 0, then f is identically 0. First, okay. All that said, for people who are in, what year are you? I've been away from school for a while. Starting from around when the coronavirus started, I just decided to take some time off. So when I go back, I will be like halfway through my 2nd year So single bad value of t. Calls are at the end of second, yes, so I have to take my calls pretty soon. Okay, so this is the... Okay. Otherwise, if k equals 1, then plugging in y equals 1 gives this, and hence so to finish, we only observe that if f of x equals root x and f of y equals root y, then plugging in x and y shows f of xy equals It's funny because like once you realize that any S works, then the solution here becomes shorter. You don't have to do any work because most of the solutions just work. I thought that this would be like, oh, so I have to do some calculation. But actually the trick is to do as little work as possible because you actually can't prove the stronger statement that you wanted. Hello, welcome back. We're about to adjourn. Who did we say this problem was from? There's a mistake in that equation. 3k, 2k equals 6k squared. Oh, frick. Alright, yeah, I gotta fix that.